Today morning, as the rays of sun broke the height of the surrounding Sierra filtering through our room's window panel, we bitterly realized what sunlight meant to us. Last evening, as the sun shifted beyond our focus, we realized that the night at Jispa won't be an easy one. Temperature started to plummet several degrees by every hour. Quite a few layers of warm clothes endorsed by our age-old faith on old monk wasn't enough to fight the bone-biting chill. Settling under 2 layers of warm blankets finally settled our shiver to a decent extent and helped us to catch some sleep. As far as we remember, our weather app showed -7 degrees Celsius at around 4 a.m. However, as every dawn brings us new hope and determination, we bid adieu to the freezing yet captivating Jispa and rolled our wheels towards our major landmark stopover at Leh. Today, we will head straight towards Leh, covering 336 kilometers and 4 major passes, including the Baralacha-La, the Lachung-La, the Nakee-La and the Tanglang-La pass. Highest of all would be 17,582 feet. Though our mind was mixed up with apprehension towards the unfamiliar course ahead of us, yet we were optimistic enough to the thought that Mother Nature won't throw any major fiasco at us to ruin this trip. In here, we would like to provide you all with a valuable information that may help someone who may be encouraged to be engaged in this kind of pre-winter Ladakh run. Most of the accommodations of this region shut down their operation post the tourist season, except a few handful ones. Based on our experience that we are gathering in this road trip, those who remain open, especially the en route accommodations, limit their operation to the bare basics. No matter how much careful one is to decide upon the stays beforehand, the options being limited, you should be prepared to face the unforeseen and be moderately self-sufficient to encounter all kinds of situations to tackle hydration, hunger and cold. Hats off to those road construction workers who not only ensure smoother roads but uninterrupted connectivity as well. As we kept on venturing ahead of Jispa, windswept deserted road became the new normal. In fact, we were rather delighted than bothered. Based on a study over internet, during the peak season, this area becomes the tourist hotspot when hundreds and thousands of tourists flock in to enjoy whatever they come to enjoy. In fact, during the period of January to May 2025, a total number of 51,000 plus tourists have visited Ladakh. And by the time this video will be uploaded, near about 1,17,000 plus tourists have already flocked in during the same period in 2026. Well, this is not any fictitious data from our end, but it is in the official website of the Administration of Union Territory of Ladakh. As our wheels kept rolling through the meandering roads, a fleet of commercial trucks, probably transporting essential commodities for the last time of this season, became our newest companion amid the solidarity of the Himalayan expanse. A lot of us, probably all those who drove across the highlands of the Himalayas, are rightfully proud of their accomplishment. But watching these truckers carrying tons of load with their effortless maneuvers in this kind of tricky, curvy road reminds us who deserve to be awarded for relentless arduous act. Not to forget the major challenges of these drivers to overcome the spectrum of harsh weather conditions thrown at them by Mother Nature at various seasons. It's very much predictable for usual outsiders who will definitely decide not to delve into these areas during the harshest of the months and for valid reasons. But life still continues in these remote areas, and so does the transportation of necessary supplies. Ask us. We are the living testimony of the harshest weather conditions of this area, who witness the gravity of challenges that locals endure. We witnessed this kind of remarkable phenomena during a snow leopard expedition in Khyber during the mid-February 2025. Though we weren't driving at that occasion, yet the remarkability will remain imprinted forever in our memory, and the frightening act of Mother Nature is worth sharing. Based on our itinerary, we were being picked up from Chandigarh, and when our eyes opened on the third day early morning at Kalpa, we simply couldn't believe our eyes. Probably it snowed the entire night, and by morning the blanket of snow has covered every visible inch. We cheered because this weather is ideal for the herd of Himalayan ibex to descend from greater altitude. That will naturally attract the snow leopard to come out in the open. But as we left behind Kalpa to finish the last leg of our destination, soon our cheerfulness started to turn into a matter of grave concern. By the way, our present driving condition may not be nowhere near to what we experienced at Khyber, yet it is demanding utter cautiousness in steering our vehicle. As the sun rays kept on playing hide and seek along the Sierra, formation of black ice on the shadowed stretches is inevitable. One small error in maneuvering our wheels over these perilous slippery stretches can turn into an out-of-control situation straight away, not only endangering everything we have right now, but leaving us absolutely stranded amid this deserted vastness, with very little hope of immediate assistance. However, we did well as we kept advancing towards greater heights, gradually ascending to an altitude of nearly 16,000 feet and nearing the highest point of Baralacha-La Pass. This will be a personal acquirement of taking our wheels to such an altitude for the very first time. Earlier in 2021, we drove across the Sayan-Boche Pass at an altitude of nearly 13,000 feet, en route to Lomanthang in Nepal. That driving experience isn't exactly the same as this, because of two main reasons. Firstly, we drove our diesel beast, and secondly, there was hardly any paved tarmac and the drive was mostly either on gravel roads or miry tracks. Those who have watched that travelogue in our channel will definitely recall that journey. And here we are standing atop the highest pass ever driven by us. It's an unfathomable feeling that we are experiencing right now. Well, it may not be an overawing act or a big deal to many, but to us it is. And most importantly, both of us prefer to treasure this kind of smallest of the small achievements and cherish them throughout our life. In this ongoing road trip, we may be breaking a lot of high altitude passes, yet Baralacha-La will occupy our heart forever because it is the first ever milestone that we have successfully accomplished. 1 down, 3 more to go. As parting is essential to reach new heights, we adieu Baralacha-La and proceeded towards the Nakee-La Pass. However, we would like to share a very important aspect in this context. Before leaving Calcutta, we consulted a house physician to discuss the medical precautions to be taken during this high altitude road trip. He suggested us to stay hydrated as much as possible and prescribed us Diamox tablet once a day after breakfast from Jispa onwards. Frankly speaking, so far so good. We are trying our best to stay hydrated and Diamox is working perfectly fine with us. No AMS kick at least at 16,000 plus feet. But don't consider this shared information as a standard medical guideline because the physical parameters of different individuals will vary from one to another. So, consult your own physician before taking any medicines. While we descend all the way down from Baralacha-La, let me finish a cable experience that I pause for the cause of our highest acquirement. Going back to a cable story, the more we were inching towards Khyber, more the situation started to become worse. Our snow leopard expedition seemed to be turning more into a snow drive expedition. It was an absolute whiteout saga with zero visibility, topped with either slippery patches or tarmac or slicing through heaps of snow. And finally, when we reached nearby the doorstep of the homestay at Khyber village, we were literally thinking that we should have turned back much earlier. The entire stretch of road after the small Khyber Gompa, which is located at the very start of the village, is presently buried under 50 to 60 centimeters of snow. No way our vehicle could have navigated through that. Hence, we had to walk. Believe us or not, to cover that 190 meters from our drop-off point to the homestay took us more than 20 minutes. Only we know how miserable we were in that knee-deep snow to even cover that short distance. The next morning at around 6 a.m., as we peeked through the glass window, what we saw left us dumbfounded. The snowstorm began in the late evening and continued all night long so heavily that fresh snow has piled up to the edge of the windowsill. That summarizes the fact that almost another 60 centimeters of snow gathered all throughout the night and was still on the run. The snow blizzard finally decided to leave us at our fate at around 10 a.m. temporarily. But by then, the damage was already done. For the next few days, as and when we were out to pursue and photograph the local wildlife, our exploration turned out to be one hell of a task. Those hours of trek were unbelievably agonizing, as we had to navigate through knee-deep snow in a blindfolded manner. However, although we won't be recounting the day-in, day-out details of that unforgettable expedition, because it is a different story altogether, it can't leave out to mention the back-breaking difficulties that the localites undergo even to fetch a bucket of drinking water. As we kept nearing Serchu, we thought of crisscrossing quite a large number of open establishments and facilities. Heard of Serchu so much, but where is that Serchu? It looks like a deserted, ghostly place. We only encountered the army personnel in their checkpost, handful road workers and truckers, and only 2 eateries to serve basic food. We decided to take a break over a steaming cup of coffee. As we proceeded forward from our break at Serchu, a sudden deviation from the Manali-Leh highway forced us to plunge into a realm of dust. Although we hastily overtook the car ahead of us, it didn't do us any real good. The dust kicked up by the wheels of the truck coming from the opposite direction is enough to obscure our vision. At times, it seemed that we would lose our track in this dust storm. Not only that, whenever we needed to use our own brakes, we would find ourselves enveloped by the very layer of dust we had kicked up. This gave rise to another thought. What then is the situation of the car that we just overtook? However, whatever has a beginning also has an end too. Finally, after paying a lot of effort in concentrating to locate the correct track, we successfully managed to get back on paved tarmac. Took us roughly 20 minutes dashing through the dust. Quite an exciting off-road for us, I would say. The result of this dust bashing inevitably switched the color of our vehicle from bluish black to chiffon ivory. By the way, I can sense my partner's irritation though. He loves his vehicle to be spanking clean. Just imagine, at every stopover, he cleans his beloved Jimny. As we kept venturing further, a map indicated that with another 5 kilometers or so, we will be entering inside the boundary of Union Territory of Ladakh. Driving down further by another 12 kilometers will take us to the foot of the infamous Garter Loops. By the way, I cannot miss out to mention the most amusing and humorous phenomena of this stretch of road. The name of the bridges that BRO have named, for example, Twing Twing Bridge, the Brandy Bridge and the Whiskey Bridge, are really hilarious. Can't also overlook the height of wittiness of the BRO team, who have taken the art of road signages to a new dimension. Can't stop myself from uttering my favorites. Darling, I want you, but not so fast. Or, be gentle on my curves. And our favorite one? Don't be a Gama in the land of Lama. However, before we knew it, we arrived at the foot of the infamous Garter Loops. It spans roughly 10 kilometers with 21 sharp hairpin bends that rapidly takes us up roughly by 1600 feet towards the Nakee-La Pass. Apart from this, there is a fiction that lurks around the internet. In 1999, a truck broke down because of some mechanical failure or whatsoever on the 19th bend. The driver decided to walk down to the nearby village for help, while leaving his young helper behind to minister the vehicle. But unfortunately, a sudden heavy snowfall delayed his return to find that his stranded helper tragically perished, probably because of severe hydration and bitter cold. He was sadly buried there itself. Soon after, passing truckers reported a fellow asking for water who would vanish as soon as approached. Belief found its own way to establish a small altar at that poor chap's remembrance at the gravesite, and till today many passerby continue to offer plastic water bottles, cigarettes as homage. We though rest this story absolutely upon your own belief. Anyways, though many bikers and motorists ponder over the difficulty of driving or riding through Garter Loops, yet we find it to be moderately uncomplicated. In fact, we would say that the meandering stretch of road between Padamchen and Lungtung in Sikkim, famously called the Sikkim Silk Route, is much steeper with tortuous winding. Though we agree that each road with its own plight isn't exactly comparable with another. Encountering the toppled truck gave us a fair idea of the accidents that happened within this stretch. We have to admit that Garter Loops do have some loopholes. The biggest of all is the narrowness of it. It hardly accommodates two vehicles, especially the trucks, to crisscross each other simultaneously, which is a fair cause of accidents, I guess. But a recent news saddened us to an extent. A new road is already under construction and nearing to its completion to bypass Gata loops and the Nakee-La Pass. It is easily understandable and could be the only reason why this particular stretch of road is no longer being taken care of or even temporarily under maintenance till Whiskey-La. Well, at least we are feeling fortunate to have traversed this stretch of road that will be forgotten over time. Ahead of Whiskey-La, the geography of the road suddenly changed its form and turned into a newly asphalted one. From the absence of thermostat markings, it is easily understandable that this stretch of road is newly built or recently maintained. In one hand, it turned out to be better for us, as because with immediate descent from the Nakee-La started the immediate ascent to Lachung-La Pass, which is at an altitude of 16,600 plus feet. Driving the distance between Whiskey-La to Lachung-La is roughly 5 kilometers with an ascent of 2,000 plus feet. That turned out to be more or less a complacent one. It turned out to be a real cheerful and energetic drive for us as we descended from Lachung-La and proceeded towards the highest pass of the day. Standing ovation to BRO and their team, not only to build such incredible superior quality of roads, that too in such remote areas, but to extend their sincerity to maintain them like the way it is. Suzuki India deserves another applause for building such a marvelous peppy machine like the Jimny. Since 2005, both of us started a journey with our first family car from the Suzuki stable, which was M800. Standing at 2026, 21 years passed by, acquiring numerous experiences with machines from the house of Suzuki, Hyundai, Tata to Mahindra. From Esteem to Thar to Jimny, with their respective power and competence, we traversed few million kilometers across India. We must admit what an elementary purebred machine Jimny is, taking all kind of terrain, that too in such altitude with real ease, without the need to deploy its four-wheel drive. Running from 8:30 in the morning with handful stopovers, that too for very short period, this machine is performing effortlessly. You know, as we are driving through these gigantic rock formations formed millions of years ago, we can't exactly transform our feeling through words, but this mountain ranges surely transformed our frame of mind. Every form of Mother Nature always reminds us of the fact that how humble human beings should be. What makes mankind fail to realize that everything happening around us is trivial in front of her colossal force? Irrespective of any species on this planet, nature kept creating while only humans kept exploiting. The entire human race sustained upon this theory. In spite of that, we kept growing adamant, proclaiming our achievements through destruction and killing. We may have created satellites, stepped onto the moon, dived deep into the ocean, yet every primary raw material of these builds, be it rare earth metals or propellant, has been extracted from nature. So, how come we turn so unshakable towards Mother Nature and her life forms? Is it the curse of believing own self to be omniscient or conceited? Time surely will have the answer to our question. Anyways, coming back to where we are traversing, as we descended from Lachung-La, the road made way into the midst of a boundless flat horizon, stretching as far as our eyes could see. This stunning flat is popularly called the Moreh Plains, but originally called Kiang Chu Thang, that stretches up to 40 kilometers, leaving Sokar Lake on the right. This barren high-altitude plateau sits on an elevation of 15,700 plus feet, flanked by picturesque sand and rock formations. While driving across this rugged landscape, we kept on scouting for life forms, and we were fortunate enough to spot and lens them too. Though not exactly in one spot, but we are presenting them in an amalgamated manner. The deserted expansiveness not only kept us busy wandering but gave us an outlandish feeling of infiniteness, a bizarre feeling of being exiled to an outer planet. Though Sokar Lake is roughly 22 kilometers from the Pangdebring intersection point, we preferred to drive through because of mainly two major reasons. Firstly, so far we have driven nearly 200 kilometers since morning and 133 more kilometers to cover to reach Leh. Lot of distance already munched and quite a lot to drive across. Though the mesmerizing landscape kept us busy throughout, yet can't ignore the fatigue of driving across three high altitude passes so far. Secondly, now it's almost 3:30 p.m. and Tanglang-La, the highest pass, is yet to be traversed, that too climbing to an altitude of nearly 17,500 feet. So far so good, but shouldn't overlook the safety part. Though our Jimny is equipped with high lumen rally bulbs, yet we would prefer to drive across this solitary meandering pass before hitting twilight. Not eager to unnecessarily handle the dimming light which tends to play around the visibility to create illusions amid shadows of the highs. Our usual pattern of driving since setting out from Jispa was pause and go. Pause wherever breathtaking landscape became irresistible to drive through, and go when we realize that we won't be able to make it to a destination if we keep on enjoying the spectacularity of the stunning panorama. But perhaps the silence of the desolate stillness of this landscape, along with high altitude meandering climb since morning, had started to take its toll on Joyato. Especially after driving atop the Tanglang-La at 17,482 feet with a rapid descent to an altitude of roughly 13,500 feet, he indicated about a mild yet annoying throbbing headache. As we are heading towards Rumse, the clock shows 6:30 p.m. That summarizes the fact that he is driving straight for the last 10 hours across variable terrains, and it is highly unlikely to be not hit by EMS. Though I wasn't affected, but the best news for him is that his headache isn't that severe to put him down. And as far as I know him, he is not going to go down just like that before EMS or anything else until he finishes off what he has started. In spite of me being the backup driver, I doubt whether he will hand me over the wheels in the stretches, that too at the onset of twilight. With utter conviction, Joyato kept on pushing the Jimny while piercing the Kelong-Leh road, keeping aside villages like Rumse, Lato, Miru. It is easily understandable that he is trying to make up for lost time. Apparently, we needed to top up our gas tank at Karu, the major town just 35 kilometers before Leh, and head straight towards our refuge for at least next 2 days. Literally, we felt that all day long we played fugitive who were under banishment from civilization. Seeing the passing signs of civilization not only gave us a feeling of pause from exertion but a sense of great relief as well. It's almost 9 o'clock and finally, after spending 12 and a half hours on the road, we will be able to stretch ourselves inside the cocoon of fine hospitality and treat us with some mouth-watering delicacies. Good night to you all from the cozy comfort of our hotel at Skara Road.